Hello everybody, this is a look at Steve Jackson's Ogre. Came out at the end of last week, October 5th, something like that. We're going to look at the first campaign mission. So this is the first thing you do after completing the tutorial, pretty much. It's an adaptation of a tabletop game, which I haven't actually played. I have played some of Steve Jackson's games, Car Wars. He's not the same Steve Jackson from the UK who did the Sorcery and Games Workshop stuff, by the way, in case you're wondering. But this is Ogre, about gigantic AI-controlled battle tanks. That's the sort of main... In this far future world, that's the main military unit that is being used in conflict, apparently. And in this first mission, basically, one of these ogres has gone rogue. I guess the AI has gone a bit wrong. And we need to stop it. We need to stop that massive tank. You probably caught at the start there that it destroyed like 4 or 5 of my units right off the bat. The ogre units are pretty damn powerful, which is why you see all these blue units around the place. We've been given quite a few with which to attack it, although a lot of them are infantry, which, you know, maybe aren't going to do a whole lot against a massive tracked vehicle, but still, we shall do our best. I'm recording this the voiceover after the fact, so I know how this mission goes, but I'll leave that a mystery. We'll just let it unfold. I'll comment on it as it goes. So yeah, you're not all... I mean, this is here we go. This is a quick look at the different terrain types in the game and how they affect different types of units. So quite an in-depth terrain layer in this game. Like if you have tanks in urban areas, they're sort of little grey ones. If you have tanks in urban areas, that protects them quite well, presumably because they're hiding down streets and so forth. They're kind of embedded in there. Same with infantry, I think. But things like swamps, you know, you can get into trouble if you send some tracked vehicles there. Anyway, our mission, as I say, is to destroy the ogre. Its mission is to just get off the side of the map to the west there. You can see some little icons perhaps that indicate where the AI's got to reach. I'm also making use of the roads and railways. That obviously, as tends to be the case in these games, they help you travel further distances than you might otherwise. These vehicles that I'm using at the moment, the GEVs, they have a special... they have 2 moves, basically. They can move, fire, and then move again a little bit, as long as you've positioned them correctly and they're not stuck on terrain or anything like that. Don't really need to be doing that at the moment because the ogre is quite a long way away, but that'll come in handy later on. So yes, we'll see this shortly actually. So maybe I'll wait to talk about targeting different types, different features on the ogre and that. There will be missions where you control the ogre, at least I'm pretty sure, because in the tutorial it was teaching me how to do that, as well as terrain types and all of this. Right, so here's my firing phase. I don't have too much to shoot at, to use to shoot at it with. But yeah, here's the different things I can target. I can target its weapons, or I can target its treads, basically. Different types of weapons. Basically I'm trying to stop it from moving, so I think targeting the treads is the way to go. That's what I will be doing throughout this video. So I've got one tank, I think, a light tank, and a few infantry taking aim at this thing's treads. Now the more treads that I remove, this is good. I need a 5+, so there you go. Taking out 2 treads already. It's only got 45. We'll be fine. The more treads that you take out, then the less it can move. So, you know, the quicker we stop it further from the side of the board, then the more it's going to have to kind of limp home, and the better off we'll be. The problem we have is that, yeah, infantry, I mean, they get to roll more dice, but they only do like 1 tread's worth of damage each time they hit. So you know, we're doing all right. We've kind of swarmed it a bit there. We've got 4 or 5, I think. But what I really need to do is I have a couple of missile tanks. I really need to try and bring them to bear, because if they hit, I think they remove 3. So yeah. Oh, here's the second movement phase that I was talking about for the GEVs. I can't actually remember what that stands for. It's like General something vehicle, I think. So yeah, we get to move those a bit closer. So lucky them, they get to move closer to the ogres firing arcs. They'll be thrilled about that. So you'll notice that one of them, the one sort of in the top left there, didn't get a second move. That's because the way I brought it on land, I think, meant that it couldn't. Basically, I messed up with the terrain. So yeah, AI is destroying a few more of my things. It disabled my missile tank there. That means that it cannot do anything this turn, which is pretty bad news, because now it will probably, AI will recognise it as a threat, and it'll probably get shot at again, and it's not likely to survive a second round, unfortunately, because the ogre's weaponry is quite good, quite powerful. Yeah. So, you know, I'm leaving the safety of the city and stuff here, but I mean, that the tank's on the move, so I've got to follow it pretty much. Just get my guys in there and take as many shots as I can before we get destroyed. I mean, really, what this mission is, I think, trying to impart upon you is the sheer firepower and survivability, durability of the ogre tanks. You know, you get all of these troops and you think, oh, well, seems like a pretty decent amount. I should be alright here. But yeah, you're going to need them all. Even if you are more tactically astute than me, you are probably going to need all of these. Something I haven't done or haven't realised yet is you see those little kind of hexagonal base looking things sort of in the corners of the screen at the moment. They actually are extra units. It pops up the icon when there's more than one unit in occupying the same space. I haven't figured that out yet. I just think they're at this point, I think in the tutorial they're little sort of defensive outposts. So, but here we go. Am I gonna? No. There we go. I figured out that these have got some troops in them. So, good. Time to start utilising those. Get them on the roads. What I haven't realised yet is that I could have moved those a bit further, because I could pop them in the same hex. Never mind. I'll figure that out towards the end of the mission. Hey, I mean, it's the first mission. This is what it's for. It's for figuring these things out. 2 more missile tanks there, which... Another one, 3 more missile tanks. Those are going to prove useful, because as I say, they do the most damage overall, if they can get a hit in. There we go. So yeah, we've taken out, let's see, 15 down to 8. So we've taken out 7 so far. Got another 38 to go. Give it your best, lads. Of course, I could be aiming for the weaponry, which in the long run is beneficial, of course, because it means that if I can destroy it, it's not going to be shooting at me as much, so I won't lose as many men. I probably should have considered doing that. I kind of fell for the pre-mission text, which was like, aim for the treads. But thinking about it, if I'd taken out its weapons early, it would not, especially its main weapons. It has a lot of like anti-personnel stuff, which you Gotta really wade through. But yeah, if I'd taken out its weapons earlier, its main ones, then it wouldn't be able to shoot at my tanks as much. And I'd have more... I'd waste, if you like, some turns shooting the weapons, but then I'd have more tanks left to shoot its treads, so... that might have been the superior tactic. But that's not what happened. There's a second move there, getting some of those out of the way. And yeah, it's taking out all my heavy tanks. Which is a little bit on the unhelpful side. I actually did leave my missile tank alone. It's quite a horrifying screech whenever they kill infantry. Well, there we go. We're blocking the road at least. And my missile tank still seems to be disabled actually, maybe that disables it for more than one turn. Might be wrong on that. Right, well we should be able to bring quite a lot of firepower in for this turn at least. Relatively. Although even on the railway tracks, those missile tanks, they're not that fast. But they do have quite good range, so... Making sure to move all my guys, you know, it's time consuming, but I'm gonna need these, you know. Little infantry man, if he can roll a 5, he might make the difference between success and failure, so it's worth getting them all up here. Using the roads there. Yeah, I think I used the roads and the rail fairly well. The other terrain, I don't know. I don't know how much leeway I would have had for sort of picking the site of engagement with this rampaging tank, but it's difficult to really maneuver him into a position where I can be like, alright, I'm using the forests to hide my infantry and stuff, because he's just gonna rampage through them, unfortunately. Alright, time for some shooting. Basically just a 5+ for all of these, because it's showing you in the UI down there. So technically, potentially I can do 17 damage, but the first one's missed, so already I'm not going to be doing 17 damage. I've got a hit from the heavy tank there, which took out 4 of the treads. That is extremely helpful. I can't remember if I show this on the video, but the combat log at the top right, you can expand out to see how much damage you've been doing. Alright, so this is the second movement phase for moving them in closer. I don't know if that's a great idea. Probably just get shot at, but... now this is a... in the classic... Okay, so this game has classic and advanced rules. In the classic rules, that would have just been a ramming attack. In advanced, you do this whole second section called overrun, which looks a little bit like this. We'll see a better example of it a bit later on. But basically it's moving into my space, and I'm basically going to ram it. I'm going to sacrifice my my unit. I got a chance to shoot at it and missed, which is a shame, but I can at least sacrifice my tank by ramming into it. Take off a couple more treads. It's worth it, I think. I think it's worth the trade. So I missed with the shot, but Kamikaze do 1 damage. Look at that thing. Is that some kind of mental Dalek tank? Alright, so I skipped ahead a little bit. I think we are going to now see me attempt one of those overrun things. So in the overrun phase, basically what happens is you attack each other until there's no one left standing. So it's outside the usual one-shot turn-based sequence. The mistake I make is that I try to do an overrun pretty much purely with infantry. So as you'll see, that doesn't go brilliantly well. Because he gets to attack first, so yeah. I shouldn't have done this. Basically, I should have just rolled the dice on a regular attack, because I would have had, I mean, not hundreds of shots, but a few chances to take out some more treads, which I'm just not gonna get with the overrun. And as you can see, the number of units I have available to me are dwindling quite significantly at this point. So I'm getting desperate. It's like, right, let's just chuck everyone in. Let's do this overrun attack. But as you'll see, what happens is he gets to use all of his weaponry on my charging troops. Slight overkill for 1 unit of infantry there, I feel, but yeah, I should have done this after taking out his, if I'd taken out his weapons, or if I had more robust units to use. Basically it was a complete failure, and I wasted a lot of troops. So now we're in trouble. He's got 11 treads, so you know he's not going to be moving very fast. We have taken out quite a few. I think there were 45 to begin with, but we really need some of these missiles to start hitting, and I don't think they are. So yeah, you can only move a couple of spaces now, even on the roads. And he's still trying to use the roads at this point. So it is rapidly coming down to whether this pair of missile tanks can do the business for me. And that one guy over there, who I've persistently kept moving, I'm going to make sure he gets in on the action. Oh, he's gone off the road. It's good, he's only moving 1 space now. It means I'll be able to catch up with the infantry. Keep him under pressure. I can only move one space with these now, I think, because the rail is going over some sort of swamp there. So, big attack coming up here. I'm going to lose a lot of these infantry and possibly the tanks next turn. This has to go well. So far it isn't. I want to see lots of fives. 5s and 6s, come on guys. There we go. Alright, that's 1. That's 2. 2 of his treads are gone. Now 1 of those worked, so that's another 3. He's now down to 6. That attack did quite well. It took off like half of base, a little less than half of what he has left, but we're not going to get that kind of firepower the next turn because this is happening. We now have 2 missile tank units and 2 individual infantrymen to take out the last 6 treads. Told you this guy's going to be important. So we could win this turn, like if both of those missile units get 5s, then we're golden. So the infantry is taking off 1. I took off I took off 4 in that, so he's got 2 left. 2 treads remain, but he's killing my last infantryman. Actually no, my penultimate infantryman. Alright. All we need is for either one of these attacks to hit. And he can't move anymore. It's game over for him. But they both missed, so unfortunately I'm now down to 1 tank and 1 infantryman. Getting pretty desperate now. Missed again. And that poor infantry guy who's travelled so far just to be killed as a screen for the missile tank. Here we go. This is my last roll of the dice, pretty much. 5+ on this, and we win. And there it is. We get it. The narrowest of narrow victories on this first campaign mission. Alright, so thanks very much for watching us play a bit of Ogre. Game's out now.